Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the SCSRA Truck Series. Tonight, these trucks will be taking on the high banks of Talladega Speedway for 62 laps of racing action. I'm going to be your announcer for tonight, Mayse, and I'm excited to call all the racing action here. Again, we're going to have some awesome white-knuckle super speedway racing taking place here tonight. You are not going to want to miss a thing. You're probably wondering, hey, you're not Josh Hall. Well, Josh Hall could not make tonight's broadcast because of work, so I am filling in for him. But I promise it'll be just as exciting as when he is in the booth. And I'm very familiar with all of these drivers because I am the broadcaster on Wednesday nights for the SCSRA Xfinity Series, and I race against a lot of these drivers on Tuesday nights in the SCSRA Truck Series. I've ran 3 races this season with a lot of these drivers, so I'm very familiar with everyone. I do want to talk about a little bit of recap on what happened last week. Last week we were at New Hampshire, and Clint Stone, he absolutely dominated, leading 51 laps and bringing home the win. That was his 3rd win of the season. We saw Blake Hensley. He ended up finishing 2nd. He led the 2nd most laps with 39. 3rd was Kyle Mayse. Finishing 4th was Eddie Morris. And rounding out your top 5 was Derek Chaput. So now, after the top 12, the round of 12 has been decided. The playoffs is beginning here tonight. And I'm getting ready to pull up on the screen who is going to be your round of 12 drivers. Who is going to be competing for the championship. First of all, some honorable mentions that I want to say sorry that they did not end up making the playoffs. That includes David Hartney, Derek Chaput, and Michael Provolt. They were all drivers on the bubble that unfortunately did not make it. So here's a look at your round of 12. Clint Stone, with the bonus points that he has acquired, he currently leads. 2nd is Cody Moore. 3rd in the standings is Blake Hensley. 4th is Devin Bucciano. 5th is Will Witt. 6th is Eddie Morris. 7th is Kyle Mayse, and 8th is Brett Merle. Those are the 8 drivers above the cutoff line right now. Now there are 4 drivers currently running below the cutoff line that are going to need to try everything in their power to try to have a good finish here tonight, and that's Joe Wright, Brian Merle Jr., Todd Mayse, and Jake McCarty. So keep your eye out on those 4 as they are going to try to fight their way into the round of 8 here tonight. So another honorable mention, Atlee Weiss is 23rd in the point standings. Just want to point that out. Also want to talk a little bit about the team standings. Teams very, very important here in the SCSRA Truck Series. Right now, the leader in the team standings is Neon Racing. And they have 1 win this season. The highest driver right now for Neon is none other than Devin Bucciano, one of our playoff drivers who currently sits 4th in the standings. 2nd right now in the team standings is the Mayse Mafia Racing, who their 3 wins all have came from Clint Stone, who has definitely helped them out in the standings. 3rd is CCM, who has 3 wins this season. Those wins, all 3 of them came from Cody Moore. 4th in the team standings is Wasted Wages Racing. They have 4 wins this season. Or excuse me, CCM. Cody Moore does not drive for CCM. 2 of the wins for CCM came from Blake Hensley, and 1 of them came from Eddie Morris. 4th in the team standings is Wasted Wages Racing. 3 of the 4 wins have came from Cody Moore, and the other one was from Will Witt. 5th in the team standings is 2 Pedals 1 Clutch. Their highest driver in the team standings is Michael Provolt. 6th in the team standings is Intensity DBC Racing. Their highest driver in the team standings is David Hartney. And last but not least, the free agents are 7th in the team standings. The highest driver for the free agents, I believe, is Michael White. So there you have it. It is now time for qualifying. Drivers will get 2 laps to try to set their best possible lap time, and that will determine where they start on the grid. I want to thank sponsor Mayse Construction for all of their support. Or Mayse Construction Company. This is the Mayse Construction Company Truck Series, and Mayse Construction Company has a long history of excellence installing water, sewer, and storm drains in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. So if you are in need of any of those services, again, the installing of water, sewer, and storm drains, and you live in the Chattanooga area, make sure to visit their Facebook at www.facebook.com/Mayse Construction Co. for more information. Again, thank you to Mayse Construction Company for stepping up and sponsoring the series. Qualifying is underway here at Talladega. Right now we're watching Michael Lawrence in the 47 machine. Michael did not make the playoffs this year. He's had a bit of a rough season, but looking to try to maybe turn it around here tonight by picking up his first win of the season. We see Michael Provolt to the top of the board with a 55.90. Second is Brett Merle, who is about 200ths behind him. And I do want to point out, so to distinguish the playoff drivers for everybody else, the playoff drivers will have a big green rectangle around their name and around their information. So the drivers whose names are highlighted or like in a green rectangle, those are your playoff drivers. We see Joe Wright to the top of the board. Joe Wright on the top of the board with a 55.86. I know Joe always very, very skilled at these super speedways, and he's showing it right now here in qualifying. Second is Cody Moore making his triumphant return. Cody ran a 55.87, putting him 100th behind first place Joe Wright. Let's see what he will turn for lap number 2, getting all the way down onto the apron. And Cody Moore actually slower on lap number 2 with a 55.95. We see Colin Williams to third with a 55.89. That will put Colin around 200ths behind first place Joe Wright. There's Jake McCarty in the 10, one of our playoff drivers. He comes to a halt there on the apron. He sits in 7th. What in the world? Look who it is. The number 21 machine of Dustin Dean is in tonight's event, making his triumphant return to the SCSRA. We have not seen Dustin Dean since iOS, which was SCSRA's previous reincarnation. He is back, and better than ever it looks like, as he currently sits in the 5th place spot. 55.90 is the time for Dustin Dean. We've got Dave Wright exiting the pits and getting ready to begin his qualifying run. Dave Wright, another successful driver here at these super speedways. Never can count him out. There's Derek Chaput exiting the pits. Same thing with Brian Merle Jr. in the 74. So right now here is Derek Chaput exiting the pits. Looks like Brian Merle Jr., I believe he got charged with unsafe pit exit, so he is going to have to do this again here. Jr. looking for his first win of the season here tonight and looking to try to punch his ticket into the round of 8. We've got, and look at that, Clint Stone to the top of the board with a 55.85. That will put him 100th ahead of second place Joe Wright. Let me tell you something. So far this season, and in life pretty much, it's looking like there's 3 things that are guaranteed. Death, taxes, and Clint Stone starting on the pole. And it looks like Clint Stone is going to grab another one here tonight at Talladega. If so, this will be his 5th pole of the season. There's Brian Newdy exiting the pits in that 28 machine. Newdy is not one of our playoff drivers. He missed a few races throughout the season, which cost him in the point standings. We continue to watch Derek Chaput in that 37 machine. I do want to take this time to quickly talk about Butt Kicker. Intensity Broadcasting is proud to be partnered with Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel ultra-low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is the new and upgraded sim racing and gaming hardware that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one is right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Again, check out thebuttkicker.com to check out the established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. So again, thank you to Butt Kicker for partnering with always. As a iRacer who uses his Butt Kicker very regularly, I love it. I absolutely love it. It is, with that Butt Kicker, is the most accurate I've ever felt on iRacing to real life. So definitely recommend it. Go check them out, thebuttkicker.com. Devin Butchino says we are having issues on Facebook. Everything looks... Yeah. I am not sure what is going on, Devin. Yeah. Looks like we are having some issues with Facebook. Says everything is connected and everything. So I think we might just not be broadcasting on Facebook tonight. So if you know of somebody that typically watches us on Facebook, please notify them that Facebook is having some issues. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I don't know. That's really, really weird. We'll see if we can get it out. But, alright, the field is set. It is time to introduce your starting lineup for tonight's event. Starting on the pole with a lap time of 55.835, it's the 84 machine of Dave Wright. Outside of him, it's the 99 of Clint Stone. Third, it's the Mayse Mafia's Kyle Mayse in the 55. Fourth, it is Intensity Broadcasting's own Joe Wright. And rounding out your top 5, it's CCM's Brian Newdy in the 28 machine. Sixth, it's another CCM driver starting outside of his teammate, Eddie Morris. Seventh is Cody Moore, driver for Wasted Wages. 8th, it is Wasted Wages Racing's Colin Willems in the 17. 9th is Wasted Wages Racing's Derek Chappie, starting right behind teammate Cody Moore. And rounding at your top 10, it's Will Witt, starting right behind his Wasted Wages teammate of Colin Willems. 11th is Michael Provel, driver for 2 pedals, 1 clutch. 12th, making his triumphant return, it's Dustin Dean. 13th is Neon Racing's Devin Butchno in the 68. 14th is CCM's Blake Kinsley, and rounding at your top 15, it's Neon Racing's Brett Merle Jr., starting right behind his teammate again in 15th. 16th, it's Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence in the 47. 17th is Neon Racing's Jake McCarty, starting right behind his teammate. 18th, it's Brian Merle Jr., starting right outside of his teammate. 19th is Todd Mayse, driver for the Mayse Mafia, and rounding at your top 20, it's Bobby Mayse. 21st is Mark Shavers. 22nd is 2 pedals, 1 clutches, Zachary Cox. 23rd is Cyclone Racing, Sylvain Seagoin. And last but not least, it is Intensity DBC Sim Racing's David Hartney. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why Facebook is having issues here tonight. So again, if you're watching us on YouTube and you know somebody that typically watches us on Facebook, please, please, please let them know that we are here on YouTube tonight and we're having issues. That would be very, very helpful. I tried disconnecting it from Restream and then reconnecting it, but evidently it did not help. Who knows what the issue is. But luckily, we're on all of our other platforms here tonight. So here we go. We are getting ready for some white knuckle super speedway racing. Getting ready to begin the SCSRA Truck Series Season 3 playoffs. Your front row are 4 drivers, or the bottom 2 and the top 2, they are not teammates with each other. So here we go. Lights on the pace car off. We are getting ready for 62 laps of racing action here with the Alabama Cotton 160. Or excuse me, the Talladega 160. Here we go. We've got this long straightaway. As you can see, the start-finish line is not in the center of the tri-oval. It's all the way at the end of it. Makes for some awesome, awesome finishes. And green flag is out here at Talladega Super Speedway. 62 laps of white knuckle super speedway racing is underway. We are side by side between Clint Stone and Dave Wright. We're going to be watching for some movers and shakers throughout the field. Hey, Craig, thanks for tuning in to watch tonight. And look at that. We see Joe Wright, Eddie Morris hooking up on that third lane. They are leaving Kyle Mayse out to dry. And they go back down to the middle lane. We see Brian Nudie is trying to get up there to the outside. He does. He's able to get behind teammate Joe Wright, but that pushes Eddie Morris to the outside, and he is going to fall behind a little bit. Let's see if he can tuck in line right now. The bottom seems to be the dominant lane. Here comes the top. We see Brian Nudie giving Joe Wright a good push. Kyle Mayse leads the middle, getting a push from Clint Stone. And actually the whole top lane all the way up against the wall, those are all CCM drivers. Joe Wright, Brian Nudie, We see Cody Moore goes to the middle in front of Kyle Mayse, but we see Kyle and Clint hop up to the top, leaving Cody out to dry. We see Cody's teammate Colin goes up to help, and look at that. Kyle Mayse, Clint Stone, Joe Wright, all of them are able to get clear and head down to the bottom lane. We see Cody Moore remains the leader of that middle lane. We see Brian Nudie leads the top. There we see Joe Wright, Dave Wright hopping to the outside, right in front of Cody Moore. You know, when the Wright brothers hook up, they are going to be flying. Todd Mayse right now, he just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 51.50. Todd currently runs in the 14th position, running at the tail end of that outside lane. So we've got the Mayse Mafia versus the Wright brothers. Mayse Mafia on the bottom, Wright brothers on the top. Right now it seems like the bottom two are pushing a little bit better. And I believe the bottom has more cars. We see Cody and Colin hopping up to that third lane trying to make something work up there, but they end up falling behind and kind of get left out to dry there. We see the Wright brothers still trying to get a good run on that outside lane. We see most of CCM is there as well. The first 5 laps is typically, you know, drivers going around trying to hook up with their teammates. And it seems like a lot of drivers have already found their teammates. We're going to see all the Intensity DBC drivers working with each other, all the Neon Racing drivers, all the CCM drivers, all the Wasted Wages drivers, and then all the 2 pedals, 1 clutch drivers. All of them going to be working together here tonight. Talladega is a very interesting track. I mean, of course, it's a super speedway track. There's a lot that these drivers do not have to worry about here tonight. These drivers do not have to worry about tires. Tires really are not a necessity. These drivers can probably go the whole 62 laps on the set of tires. Maybe, I don't know. I cannot confirm if they can or not. We see a big run on the outside for Joe Wright and Dave Wright. We see Dave giving Joe the best push he's given him. Big, big run. Here they come on the outside. Joe trying to get clear of the bottom. We see the third car in lane. Brian Nudie helping as well. And it looks like Joe is almost clear. He is clear. Joe Wright down to the bottom now. He is now the leader of the bottom lane, getting a push from Kyle Mayse. And now it's Dave Wright and Brian Nudie working together on the high side. Joe and Kyle, and look at that. We see Brian Nudie. About to say, Brian Nudie and Dave Wright and Joe Wright and Kyle Mayse. Those 4 are not teammates with each other. So they're not really used to working with each other. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Looks like they're putting Dustin Dean a lap down. Not a good start for Dustin Dean in his triumphant return as he goes 1 lap down. I am not entirely sure what happened to Dustin. But he is in pretty much he is second to last right now. We see a big run on the outside for Dave Wright and Brian Nudie. We see Dave Wright with the nose over Joe. But Joe and Kyle continuing to work together pretty well on the bottom. And uh-oh, look at this. I see 3 drivers hooked up up against the wall. That's Eddie Morris, Colin Willems, and Cody Moore trying to make it work on that third lane. And they are making it work really, really well. Big run right now. We see, uh-oh, look at that. Kyle Mayse will hop to the middle lane. We are 3 wide right now. That third lane looking very, very fast. We see Todd Mayse hops up there. Good run for the middle lane. We see Kyle Mayse able to jump down in front of Joe Wright. And the bottom lane looks to be the quickest lane at the moment. Joe Wright, Kyle Mayse still drafting with each other. It's just the roles were kind of reversed. Dave Wright, again, the leader of the middle lane. Oh, we see Joe Wright hopping up to the middle lane to be right in front of his brother. And no, he actually goes to the third lane in front of this train. Oh, no! Colin Willems is around. Todd Mayse in the wall. David Hartney in the wall. Caution flag is out here at Talladega. Wow. I'm going to take a look at the wreckage rewind to see exactly what happened there. Hey, Craig, thanks for tuning in to watch tonight's broadcast. Hopefully you're enjoying the super speedway action so far. All right, here's a look at what happened. We are watching Colin Willems. We see Colin Willems pushing Eddie Morris. We see Joe Wright hops up to the outside lane. And, ooh. Cody Moore gets into the back bumper of the 17, sending him around. Todd Mayse into the outside wall. David Hartney. Not really a big one. Just a incident with a few cars getting involved. I think that was kind of the common example, I know, for those of you. We see Craig Franklin says, can I work for Intensity Broadcasting? If you have the necessary equipment, we are always looking for new broadcasters. And I'll talk a little bit more of that in a second. We've got drivers heading onto pit road. Looks like it's Dave Wright, Will Witt, all of them. And Dave Wright is the first driver off of pit road. Looks like it was a gas and go for him. Gas and go for Will Witt. Gas and go for Michael Provolt. We see Cody Moore taking tires. Blake Kinsley taking tires. And David Hartney getting tires. I believe Blake and David are actually also getting some damage fixed as well. Greg Clanton says, can I work for Intensity Broadcasting? Well, as long as you have the necessary equipment, you absolutely can. It just depends on what nights you're available. There's a lot of factors that play into it. So I would recommend messaging us on Facebook. Intensity Broadcasting is our handle on Facebook. And get in contact with us, and we can work everything out on there. Yeah, it would definitely be helpful. We're always looking for, because we get a lot of series that message us all the time asking for us to broadcast these races, but we a lot of times don't either have the time slots to do so, or we don't have anybody to be able to work it. So yeah, I would say message Intensity Broadcasting on Facebook and see if we can get something coordinated for you to broadcast with us. Right now, when the caution flag came out, Kyle Mayse was the leader. We see second place, it is Clint Stone. Third, it's Derek Chaput. Fourth, Joe Wright. Rounding out your top 5, it is Brian Newty. Top 2 playoff drivers, Kyle Mayse and Clint Stone. Both of them with the Mayse Mafia. It's been a really, really good race for the Mayse Mafia so far tonight. Fortunately, though, we saw Todd Mayse get involved in our most recent incident. Bobby Mayse having a good top 15 run tonight. We're getting ready to go back green here at Talladega. And Kyle Mayse, he will elect to restart on the outside. Clint Stone will restart below him. I got you, Greg. Well, again, to get all of that coordinated, if you would like to announce with us, I am the announcer, I don't deal with bookings or anything like that, so I would recommend, once again, messaging Intensity Broadcasting on Facebook, and they can get you hooked up and try to get you set up. You're getting ready to go back green here. Clint Stone restarting on the bottom. Kyle Mayse restarting on the top. So Monday, if off. So Tuesdays we have a broadcaster. Thursdays I broadcast. And then Saturdays, we typically don't do any broadcasts because I know a lot of people are busy and that whatnot. So, I mean, I don't know. I can't do anything like that. If Facebook doesn't work for you to help get in contact with us, visit our Intensity Broadcasting Discord. I don't know if you have Discord. I can put the link to our Discord in the description. There it is right there. Green flag back out here at Talladega. We see Kyle Mayse like a rocket on the restart, but that may hurt him because that'll allow the other drivers behind him to get a good run. We see Kyle Mayse goes down to the bottom in front of his teammate Clint Stone. We see right now, there we go, Joe Wright, Eddie Morris, Brian Newty hopping up to the outside lane. CCM hooking up. See if they can get a good run on the outside. Yeah, here comes Joe Wright and Eddie Morris. They are looking like a rocket on that outside lane. If there are two drivers that know how to get it done here at these super speedways, it is Joe and Eddie. Wow, big run heading off of turn number 4 and onto the tri-oval. Here they come. Kyle Mayse will lead that lap, though. We continue to run side by side here between Kyle Mayse. We see Joe Wright falling a little bit back here in turns 1 and 2. I think they're going to try to get a big run here on the straightaway. Right now, side by side between Joe Wright and Kyle Mayse. Another big run here on the tri-oval for Joe Wright. CCM hooked up, running very, very fast right now. Eddie Morris, Joe Wright, like I mentioned earlier, they definitely know how to work with each other. They've ran so many super speedway races with each other. And I do want to mention this, Eddie Morris, he is going for his 5th super speedway win in this series in a row. Eddie Morris has won 4 in a row for super speedway races, whether it's been at Talladega or Daytona. And so he's looking to make it 5 in a row here tonight. Can he get it done? Another big run on the outside for Joe Wright and Eddie Morris. Talladega Super Speedway lives up to its name of all the closed circuit motorsports facilities in the world where sanctioned NASCAR auto races are held. It is the fastest. Constructed by the France Family's International Speedway Corporation 10 years after Daytona International Speedway, Talladega was built slightly longer at 2.66 miles and with steeper 33-degree banking which guaranteed record-setting speeds. The pole speed for NASCAR's first race in 1969 was a stunning 199 miles per hour, almost 30 miles per hour faster than what the Indy cars were lapping at Indianapolis Motor Speedway at the time. In 1975, Mark Donohue set the world closed course speed record by driving a Porsche 917-30 round Talladega at 221 miles per hour. Donohue's world record stood for 4 years before finally being broken at Italy's 7.5-mile Nardo high-speed test facility. Rule changes in 1987 mean Bill Elliott's 212-mile-per-hour lap will likely stand forever as the qualifying record at Talladega and for NASCAR. Talladega Superspeedway is still the fastest track on the schedule and holds the record for the fastest 500-mile stock car race at 188 miles per hour. Mark Martin's winning speed in May of 1997, and it produces exciting fender-to-fender racing every year. Talladega holds the record for most leaders in a 500-mile race, and most lead changes as well, but on the last lap, don't ever bet against a driver named Earnhardt. Dale Sr. racked up an amazing 10 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race victories, and Dale Jr. captured 4 straight wins during the 2002 and 2003 seasons. Talladega Superspeedway hosts a variety of stock car racing events every year, and competing in high-speed packs at Talladega has proven to be challenging and exciting for iRacers as well. Saying that's not valid. I will send another invite. I think it might have just expired or something. Let me know if this works. Take a look back now to the racing action here at the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. We see Joe Wright still kind of stuck on that outside lane. Looks like now his pusher is Devin Bucciano. And we see we've got 3 cars hooked up on the outside lane. It's Eddie Morris, Blake Kinsley, and Dustin Dean. All of them driving for CCM. We see big run in the middle for Joe Wright and Devin Bucciano. Here they come on the tri-oval, and as we head into turns 1 and 2. I know Joe and Devin, they're not really used to working with each other, but it's really good to see that they're running really, really well with each other, even though they're on 2 different teams. Here comes Eddie Morris and Blake Kinsley on the high side. Running right up against the wall. They've got a big run. Right now, the bottom is still the successful lane. Kyle Mayse, Clint Stone, of course, work very well together. They are teammates with the Mayse Mafia Racing. I don't know. I don't know, Craig. Oh no! Big wreck! Cars flipping in the air! Caution flag is out here at Talladega. We're going to take a look and see exactly what happened there with the wreckage rewind. Did not catch what happened. All right, here we go. So we are watching Bobby Mayse. He is 3 wide with Blake Kinsley, and that is the 11 of Brett Merle on the bottom. And oh, looks like something happened there with Clint Stone. I think maybe, yeah, I think Chappie might. Oh no! That's what happened. It looks like Clint Stone overheated, causing the motor to blow up. And so that causes the whole field to check up. We see Brett Merle gets into the back of Chappie, and this causes this whole domino effect. We see Dustin Dean goes upside down. Jeez. That may have been the big one right there. That was wild. We've got pretty much the whole field coming into the pits. Whoever wins the race off of pit road will be in the lead. Kyle Mayse will have the advantage here as he has the highest pit stall. Excuse me, no he doesn't. Dave Wright does. And Joe Wright is the first driver off of pit road. Then it's Kyle Mayse. Then it's Devin Butchno, Will Witt, and Dave Wright. Or excuse me, and then Blake Kinsley, Brian Nudie, Chapu, Jake McCarty, Eddie Morris, and then Dave Wright. So we saw a few varying strategies on pit road. By the way, Craig, I put a link to our Facebook in the description. Let me know if the address is valid. So it looks like Joe Wright, he only took right side tires, which helped him get out in front of Kyle Mayse, who took all 4 tires. Devin Butchino took all 4 tires. It looks like Will Witt, he only took fuel. Actually, no, I believe Joe Wright took 4 tires. So top 3, I believe, took 4 tires. Will Witt took 1 tire, or only 2 tires, I believe probably right sides. Blake Kinsley took 4 tires. Brian Nudie, 4 tires. Derek Chapu, 4 tires. Jake McCarty, 4 tires. Eddie Morris, 4 tires. And Dave Wright, 2 tires. So let's go ahead. Let's do a driver interview. Let's pull in your 10th place driver, Dave Wright. Dave, this is Atlan in the broadcast room. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good in the broadcast booth, and looks like you're doing pretty good on track, having a good top 10 run. We've seen you up in the front of the field for a lot of the race. You've been really, really fast, and we just saw you just came into the pits there. What was the strategy? It looked like you only took one right sides.
So qualified on pole after that caution, just didn't want to, had a feeling they were going to crash at the stage. They didn't end up doing it, or maybe they did, I'm not sure, but just wanted to stay out of that. I got no stage points here to race for at Man. I'm out of the playoffs, so was trying to just get in front of them on gas, and then I lost a draft going to pick up Hartney, and he just wasn't fast enough, so that kind of went out the window. But back to 10th, and we'll see what we do here.
All right, well, good luck on this next restart, Dave.
Appreciate you, bud.
Yep, no problem. Well, that is Dave Wright, driver for Intensity DBC Racing. See a few drivers on pit road. Devin Butchno, Blake Hensley, Jake McCarty, Brian Merle Jr. all coming in and topping off on fuel. Lights on the pace car are out. We're getting ready to go back green here. Joe Wright restarting on the bottom. Kyle Mayse restarting on the top. Behind them, it is Will Witt and Brian Nudie. The bottom lane and the top lane, those four are not teammates with each other. Joe Wright with CCM. Will Witt is with Wasted Wages. Wow. We see Kyle Mayse, he is with the Mayse Mafia. And Brian Nudie, he is with CCM. So it'll be interesting to see how well these four work with each other. All right, we are getting ready to go back green here at Talladega. So far, it's pretty much been Joe Wright and Kyle Mayse, the two dominant drivers. But it is not over until it's over. Pace car is in. We've got this long tri-oval that we've got to go through. And I believe it looks like Facebook is finally connected, so that's good. Welcome all Facebook viewers. Green flag is back out here at Talladega. There's Joe Wright taking off. We see Will Witt jumps to the outside in front of Kyle Mayse. So now Joe Wright, he is getting help from Derek Chaput behind him. They're side by side here heading through turns 1 and 2. And on to the backstretch, we see Joe Wright with the nose. Big run on the outside for Will Witt and Kyle Mayse. Will Witt is clear of Joe Wright, it looks like. Nope, never mind. We see good run heading into 3 and 4 for Joe and Derek. But once again here on the little short chute heading into the tri-oval. Big run for Will Witt on the outside. And he is clear of Joe Wright. He can jump to the bottom now. Will he, though? Yes, he does. Will Witt to the lead here at Talladega. Kyle Mayse now leads the top lane, getting a push from Brian Nudie. And then behind Brian, we see it's Eddie Morris. It's the first time we've seen Will Witt really up here. We haven't really said his name too much until this point. We see the outside really starting to fade. Look at that. Joe Wright tries to get up there, but it's too late. We see he gets hung out to dry. Is anybody going to go and pick him up? We see Kyle Mayse, huge run on that third lane. Trying to get clear of Will Witt. We see him and Brian Nudie are able to get by Joe Wright. They are clear of him now. So Joe Wright, now the third car on that middle lane. He's going to hop to the third lane now. Big run on the outside for Kyle Mayse. Here he comes. Getting a good push from Brian Nudie. We see Will Witt jumps to the outside lane, blocking Kyle Mayse from the run that he had. So now Derek Chappie was the leader on the bottom, getting a push from Dave Wright. And oh no, we see Eddie Morris is around on the backstretch. Caution is out. Third caution of the race here at Talladega. And I'm not too sure what happened. Let's take a look at what happened here. Like Eddie Morris was the main driver involved. All right, so we see Eddie Morris. He's got Colin Willems looking to the outside of him as we head here onto the backstretch. And Eddie begins to blink out, which we don't typically see, and he just gets loose on his own or something. Yeah, he was having serious blinking issues. Yeah, he just goes around. Eddie Morris typically not known for blinking. Looks like he just had some really bad connection there. And for those of you, I know I just said blinking as a fake out there from Derek Chappie. We do have a few takers on pit road. Kyle Mayse, Brian Nudie, Cheeseburger, Devin Butchino, Mark Shavers, all of them coming in. Whoever exits the pits first will be in 6th, I believe. And it is gas and go for Kyle Mayse. Gas and go for Devin Butchino, Shavers, Provolt, Hensley, Brett Merle, Jake McCarty, all of them gas and go. We see Nudie, it's 4 tires and fuel. Brian Merle Jr. gas and go. Bobby Mayse gas and go. We see 4 tires and fuel for Cheeseburger, 4 tires and fuel for Joe Wright, and gas and go for Eddie Morris. Derek Chappie remains your leader here. So that 5 drivers that stayed out, Derek Chappie, Will Witt, Dave Wright, Cody Moore, and Colin Willems. I don't know if they are good for the rest of the race. So they may have to come in one more time. I am not sure. Want to do a little run through to see where our playoff drivers are at right now for the order that they are in. Our first driver in the standings, Clint Stone. He has had a very, very rough race so far. He currently sits in 20th. There he is, exiting the pits. Second is Cody Moore. He currently runs 4th right. All right, here we go. So Derek Chappie. He's not a playoff driver. Will Witt as our first playoff driver. He currently runs in the 2nd place spot. Cody Moore runs 4th. Kyle Mayse runs in 6th. Devin Butchino 7th. Blake Hensley currently runs in the 8th place position. 11th is Brett Merle. 12th is Jake McCarty. Then it's Eddie Morris, Todd Mayse, Clint Stone, and then Joe Wright in 17th. So right now our highest running playoff driver is Will Witt. And looks like we got Dustin Dean in the waiting room. Dustin, are you done for the night?
I am done for the night, Atlee.
Man, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, that's how it happens sometimes here at these super speedways. But you want to call the rest of this race?
I was hoping you would let me. If I'll be glad to if you'll let me.
All right. I'm going to share Streamlabs really quickly. This is what's showing on the broadcast right now. We are getting ready to restart this race here. We've got Derek Chaput restarting on the outside, Will Witt restarting on the inside, and I think what Chaput is going to try to do here is going to time it right, so right on the restart he can go down to the bottom and get right in front of his teammate. And then right behind them and right behind Chaput in fourth, it's Cody Moore, so he's going to try to get grouped up with his teammates as well, and Dave Wright's kind of the odd man out there on the bottom in fourth, or restarting in third.
And it really has been an interesting race. It started off pretty calm, and then it just went chaotic really, really quickly, and it's kind of stayed that way.
Absolutely. It's been a wild one, and you know what they say, cautions breed cautions. I don't believe we've seen the last caution here tonight. So it's just gonna continue to get even more interesting. We're gonna see a lot of movers and shakers all throughout tonight's event. We saw some really big names get caught up in that most recent incident there with Eddie Morris, or no, the wreck before that one with Clint Stone blowing his motor.
Yeah, the one I flipped upside down.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah. Out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. For those of you who don't know, when somebody's in front of you, it's restricting the airflow to the motor of the car. So it's going to make the motor heat up and heat up and heat up and heat up, and eventually it will explode. Green flag is back out here, and perfectly timed restart for the Wasted Wages drivers. We see Chaput, Cody Moore, and then Will Witt. They're all going to be on the bottom, but actually that may be kind of a curse because they're so far ahead that the other drivers might have such a good run that they can just fly by them on the outside. I don't know.
I will say the runs have been really good tonight. Oh, there he goes, right on the outside.
Wow, so looks like Cody Moore betraying his teammate and going to the outside lane, maybe because he wants to be the front car or something. He's going to go ahead of Dave Wright, so Dave Wright pushing Cody on that outside lane. We know Cody making his triumphant return to the SCSRA here tonight, just in time for the playoffs. We see big run on the outside for Cody. Yeah, he's able to get clear of Chaput. Ooh, it's going to be close if he can get down. Yes, he is able to. We see Cody Moore able to get down to the bottom now, right in front of his two other teammates, Derek Chaput and Will Witt. Really, really good teamwork there on that last little restart sequence for Wasted Wages Racing.
Yeah, and this is what I call just controlling the race, Atlee. When you can get your teammates out front, you're controlling the outside line, controlling the inside line. I mean, you're basically controlling the race, and everybody else is at your mercy at that point.
They're not. Wasted Wages is not quite controlling the race yet. They've got one factor they've got to consider, and that's Dave Wright running on that outside lane. He's currently getting pushed by the fourth Wasted Wages driver, Colin Willems. So if Colin Willems could maybe get in front of Dave on the outside, then Wasted Wages would truly be controlling the race here at Talladega. We see a big run for Dave Wright on the outside, and he is almost clear of Cody Moore for that first place position, trying to get down to the bottom. But no, we see, once again, the big run on the bottom for Cody and Derek.
I see it happening down the backstretch, though. If they can get a good run right there together and they're tight like that, see, he's just off of him and not able to get that run. So I think Cody Moore's good right where he's at right now.
Yeah, and I think one thing is that, you know, Colin and Dave, they're not really used to working with each other at these super speedways. They're not teammates. Dave, he runs with Intensity DBC Sim Racing. Colin Williams with Wasted Wages. So I know Colin Williams, he wants really, really badly to be in where Dave is at so that Wasted Wages can be controlling the outside and the inside. But again, Dave really foiling Wasted Wages plans right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that right now the drivers, even though they are side by side and looks like they're pushing hard, I think they're actually pretty calm. As you see back in the pack, we see some drivers kind of holding off a little bit, not really making it tight, but holding off, just letting things run the course.
As you say that, Cody Moore to the outside lane. But I think that's what they wanted to happen. I think Cody Moore went up there, so now Wasted Wages is officially controlling both lanes here at Talladega. So good move there by Cody.
Because you don't have that big pack, there's not a big chance of a big wreck happening. I mean, you got these up front, but the big wreck maybe not a factor right now. But as the laps wind down, I suspect that to change.
Yeah, I think right. Oh, wow. So Kyle Mayse, see a little bit of shaking movers and shakers going on, but it looks like Cody Moore will remain ahead on the outside lane. They're going to leave Dave Wright out to dry. That's unfortunate for the 84 machine. So Wasted Wages continues to control both lanes, and we're at the halfway point. I think now's the perfect opportunity. We're going to turn up the volume and pump up the intensity. Here you'll get to see the sights and hear the sounds of the racetrack as we see there. Cody Moore able to get to the bottom. YXU remains in the lead as we go now to pump up intensity. Welcome back here to Talladega Super Speedway. That was Pump Up the Intensity for you. Hopefully you enjoyed us turning up the volume and getting to hear that sweet race car noise. It's always, I mean, these trucks, are always the loudest here at Talladega, so it's always nice to hear that beautiful, beautiful sound. And we take a look back. We see Cody Moore leading the bottom lane. He leads the field, and he's on the bottom. We see Colin Williams leads the high side. Wasted Wages currently controlling both lanes at the moment. We've got less than 25 laps to go here at Talladega.
Yeah, and with the laps ticking down, it's easy to see just how the intensity has picked back up. You see now they're a lot closer than they were. You still got some guys hanging out in the back thinking a wreck may happen, but I think as the laps continue to wind down, that's only going to get tighter and tighter, and the racers are going to get it better and better.
Absolutely. Now, I got a question. I mean, give us, what is your mentality at this point of the race if you're in the front of the pack, the middle of the pack, and the back of the pack, Dustin?
Well, obviously, if you're in the front of the pack, at least that's where you want to stay. You want to be able to control the guys around you, stay up front, be there at the end. If you're in the middle of the pack, in my opinion, with 23 laps to go, you have a little bit more time to ride around. Really, when it gets down to 15, 10 is when it's go time for sure. But you want to be setting yourself up, getting yourself acclimated with everybody. That way, when the time comes, you know who to push and who can push you. And then if you're at the back, right now, you're really just hoping for a wreck, or it's go time pretty quickly.
There you go. That's Dustin Dean giving us his little explanation on the mindsets that a lot of these drivers are going through right now. So you're right. Cody Moore, Colin Williams, they definitely want to stay out front for the rest of this race. And typically, you know, if you're out front, that's the best place to be to avoid the big one, unless the big one happens up front, pretty much.
Yeah, typically it's about, I think on average it's about third place on back. Anywhere could be the big one, but usually when you're out front, you're fine. It's third place on back that you are never safe from anything here at Talladega.
And look at this. We see CCM, all of CCM, onto pit road. Eddie Morris, Brian Nudie, Blake Kinsley, Joe Wright, all into the pit. So, interesting strategy move for those four.
Well, I think they want to do it now just to get it out of the way. Not wait till the last second and have to worry about everybody else coming to pit road. But at the same time, man, if a caution comes out after they get lapped here, it could be pretty bad news for them pretty quickly.
This looks like topping off on fuel, so will these four be able to make it for the rest of the way?
Yeah, they should be. They
Okay.
should be good to go.
Gotcha. So there we go. Joe Wright, Eddie Morris, Blake Kinsley, Brian Nudie getting a head start on the pit strategy there. The force forward to come in, and they should be able to be good for the rest of the way here. But let's see. I don't know how close the leaders are. See, they are on the back stretch, and the leader. Oh, the leaders aren't too close, so they should be fine right now to just hook
I was just
up.
sitting here thinking, I'm very impressed with how quick they got on and off pit road and back lined up, and they might not get lapped at all. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, it was like it had been coordinated for days and strategized for days. So good job. A shout out to the CCM drivers for really, really coordinating such a good and fast stop there.
Yeah, definitely. Now that will thin out the field here, so less likely to have a big accident, but you always have to be aware of the drivers around you, who's doing what. You just never know. Plus, who's going to pit when. They still do have to pit. Everybody's got to pit at least one more time, except the drivers that just pitted. They are good to go to the end. But all these guys we're watching right now, Cody Moore and all the folks behind him, they still got to pit one more time. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, so right now, Wasted Wages continues to control both lanes, but I think right now everybody's trying to maybe venture their way down to the bottom of the track so they don't have to cut across a lane to get to their pit stall. And I think, of course, there's going to be a lot of drivers calling over the radio, calling out when they're going to be coming in. So, yeah, I think, and that's the key, so it doesn't catch anybody off guard, and so it'll give you ample time to get down to the bottom.
Exactly. I don't see any takers this time by. We'll see. Nobody this time by. They're going to wait a few more laps. I think, we made some contact here. Bobby Mayse. Went up the track there a little bit.
Looks like we keep on going here at Talladega. So there's really only 5 cars on the high side right now. Everybody else is on the bottom. So I believe there's a really good chance I think we'll have a taker this time by here with 18 laps to go.
And excuse me, that was Kyle Mayse, not Bobby Mayse. That went up the track just then. Now, 18 to go. I don't know how many stopped on those first couple cautions, but there is no way they can make it to the end, so they will have to pit. It's just a matter of when. But if they did top off, then they might have several more laps to go before they have to pit. I thought we had some takers that time, but they all come back up on the track.
Yeah, I know that Colin, Kyle, Michael, and Mark aren't coming anytime soon because they're still on the outside lane, and of course they are going to need to cut across a lane to get to pit road, which isn't ideal. So I know you can tell that they're really not planning on coming in anytime soon. And I think,
Yeah, I think it. Oh, go ahead.
I think eventually when the time will come, Cody and Derek will try to leave room on the bottom for Colin Williams to kind of slip into that hole, so all three of them can kind of, or all four of them with Will Witt down there as well, they can all kind of coordinate a stop.
I was going to say it could happen now. He's got room to go down, but he did not take it. Interesting, very interesting. Right now, even he could go down, but he's trying to take the lead again.
Yeah, I think everybody's just gonna try to run the tank out as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, well, it's not an awfully bad strategy. I will say that pack group that pitted together, they're not losing too much time to this lead pack here. So, if they were to stay out and everything just shakes out, they may be sitting in the catbird seat.
So I'll say this, the Wasted Wages drivers last came in on lap number 22. They have been out on the track for 24 laps now. So what is the estimated laps typically for fueling?
To be honest with you, I don't remember looking at it when we first started the race. I wish I would have. Now I just know that after I got upside down, that fuel didn't really matter at that point. So I didn't actually take a look at it.
See, I don't know. If I recall, it's typically around 30 laps, maybe 30 laps. So they're at 25, so they can make it a little bit longer if my calculations are correct, which I'm pretty sure they're probably not. I don't know. I have never ran in this league here in this SCSRA trucks, but I've done many truck super speedway races. It's typically around 30 to 32, if I recall.
Yeah, for some reason I think it may be less than that now. Of course, you might be right. Who knows? I will say they are trying to get single file here, so they may be coming this time.
Yeah, there might be some takers. Yes, Wasted
And
Wages, all four coming in. Oh no, there's a bunch of drivers coming in. So let me get through all the names. Cody, Derek, Will, Colin, Dave, Kyle, Michael, Mark, Michael Provolt, Bobby Mayse, and Todd Mayse. All of them are into the pits, topping off on fuel so they can make it the rest of the way. We do see four drivers continue to stay out, and that looks to be the four Neon Racing drivers: Brett Merle, Devin Butchno, Brian Merle Jr., and Jake McCarty.
Now, Cody Moore he's in the pits right now, but he will come out in front of everyone. I'm worried about the gap he has. He's got an enormous gap on everybody else that he pitted with. As you see on the outside, there comes those four that pitted earlier, and they have momentum. They will be your race leaders once all of this shakes out.
Yep, there's Neon Racing coming into the pits now. Brett Merle, Devin Butchno, Brian Merle Jr., Jake McCarty, all making their way onto pit road. There we see Clint Stone. He got his lap back. He's had a rough race tonight. Not what he wanted, considering he is one of our round of 12 drivers. But there we go. So that means that if Joe Wright can make his way around the track in the time that they pit, he should be the new race leader. No, they were really, really fast on pit road. I think they might be able to make it out before. No, it's too late. Here comes Joe Wright and all of the CCM drivers flying around like a rocket. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 right now for CCM. They have an extending lead over the Neon Racing drivers that they just passed. And one thing that I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, remember, fourth place driver Eddie Morris, who is in this front pack, he has won the last 4 super speedway races in this series. So if he wins tonight, he will have won 5 in a row for super speedway races here in the Mayse Construction Company Truck Series. And that is a incredible accomplishment considering how unpredictable these super speedway races are.
Yeah, Eddie reminds me of like a Michael McDowell or someone like that in NASCAR, to where they are always there at the end and somehow manage to squeak it out. I mean, it is really amazing. But these four, I like this number here. The other cars in the track or trucks on the track are gaining up and they're getting momentum. But I like 4 cars. If we can get 4 trucks together like this, I think that they'll stay out front together for the remainder of this race if it goes caution free.
And I know these all 4 of them are really, really good super speedway racers. So they know what they're doing. They know how to get the most out of their runs.
Yeah, this second pack behind them, the closest to them is 6 seconds back right now. And so they have plenty of breathing room, to say the least. Now, I'll be interested to see how long, they still have, 11, 12 laps to go here. Can they keep a 6-second lead? I think so. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see, though, if they can gain. That's all coming up here with the last 10 laps. I do want to quickly talk about, while we have this little break in the action, I guess you could say, talk a little bit about our merchandise store, IntensityBroadcasting.com. Intensity Broadcasting features merchandise from your favorite broadcaster, your favorite drivers, and all of your favorite leagues. We have all of our Intensity Broadcasting merchandise on there. We've got Intensity Broadcasting shirts, hats, mugs, stickers, mouse pads, and even Intensity Broadcasting polo shirts if you want to look distinguished while supporting us. We have a bunch of At Racing merchandise. I race in real life, and if you want to support my real life racing, you can purchase all of my merchandise on there. We've got At Racing t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, hoodies. We've got hats, polo shirts, jackets, even beanies. We've got a bunch of cool auto racing novelty t-shirts. We've got a Cautions Breed Caution shirt, a Talk Less, Race More shirt, and a couple other cool shirts that you can rock. And then lastly, make sure, and we also have our first ever IntensityBroadcasting.com driver. His name's Carson Hayslip. All of his merchandise is on there. Carson Hayslip is the driver of the number 08 Legend car with Dylan Spain Motorsports. He was the 2022 Wake County Speedway Track Champion and the 2022 U.S. Legends and INEX Summer Shootout Young Lions Champion. He's a young, up-and-coming driver that you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out on. And all of his merchandise is on there. You can...
We got a wreck, Atlee.
Oh, wow. You were right. Caution flag is out here at Talladega Super Speedway. Plot twist. That is not what your front 4 wanted to see there. We're going to take a look at the wreckage rewind to see exactly what happened.
Yeah, I just looked up back in turn 4 while you were talking. Didn't mean to interrupt you there. But Provault's in it. Mark Shavers is in it. We got plenty of people back here. They were trying to catch back up. Take it away, Atlee.
All right, here we go. Let's watch Alex Bowman dump Denny Hamlin one more time. There we go. So we're watching Dave Wright on the bottom here. He's got Brett Merle behind him. And it looks like they get squirrely out front. Oh! Yeah, I saw that coming there. It looks like the 22 machine of that is Bobby Mayse. I think he thought he was clear of Dave Wright, but he was not, and just comes down right into him. And that is just going to cause a major catastrophe.
And that is the furthest point away from the spotter stand. So if that spotter said clear low, and he took it, he might have just hesitated just a half a second, and that was a half a second too long.
Yep, that's what happens. So, unfortunate. We see Austin.
Really unfortunate for those top 4.
Yeah.
They had it made up there.
There are a lot of big-name drivers who have been up front for a lot of tonight's event getting involved in that incident. And, I mean, man, that's just super speedway racing for you, where you think you're clear, you think you can get down to the bottom, but it doesn't work out. We've got Austin Blaylock on Facebook. He says, let's go, Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris right now running in the 4th place position, having a really good run tonight, looking to try to close it out. He's trying to get his 5th Super Speedway win in the SCSRA Truck Series in a row, and it's definitely possible. And he says, is that Dustin Dean I hear? Yes, it is Dustin Dean you hear. He's calling the action tonight here at Talladega Super Speedway. It's weird. It's going to get good here. We've got a lot of drivers on pit road right now. Todd Mayse, Dave Wright, Clint Stone, Jake McCarty, all of them most likely getting damage fixed from that previous incident.
Yeah, as the racing picks up, I did want to mention, like, I looked on that website that you're talking about. There are some really cool shirts on there, so go check that out.
Absolutely,
Really.
and I forgot to mention there's an SCSRA collection where there's SCSRA bubble-free stickers that you can put on your personal vehicle or your race car. There's an SCSRA photo paper poster that you can hang in your sim room or your man cave. And then we have SCSRA t-shirts. It's the same. I have a lot of t-shirts from the Intensity Broadcast. The material is so comfortable, and it comes in 5 different colors: black, navy, red, sport gray, and white, and sizes small to 5XL. So there are shirt sizes for everyone. There's no youth sizes though, that's the only thing. But it's, again, small to 5XL. So if you're an SCSRA fan, which I mean you are watching an SCSRA broadcast, definitely consider checking out the SCSRA League Collection.
And I'll give a shout out to old Austin Blaylock. I haven't talked to him in a while, but a good racing buddy of mine. I appreciate that shout out through YouTube.
Austin Black says, I've got to race with some of these guys again.
I know. I couldn't stay away, Alex. I get his pain. I couldn't stay away from you guys.
It's hard not to. This is a really great group of drivers, and that's right. SCSRA is recruiting for Season 4 for their truck series. So if you are interested in joining their truck series, I'm going to put the SCSRA Discord in the chat. Join up, sign up, go to some of their recruitment races, and show the SCSRA that you are a good, clean, capable driver. And hopefully, I will see you in Season 4 in the SCSRA Truck Series. It's a really good series. There's a lot of camaraderie, a great group of drivers, friendship. I mean, this is probably the most close-knit group of drivers I've ever seen in all the leagues that I've announced. And I've announced a lot of leagues, so it's really impressive to see how close all of these drivers are in the camaraderie that we see week in and week out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I truly missed these guys when I was away from iRacing. And so that's definitely one of the reasons I came back. These group of guys are one of a kind. We are certainly like family. And I was talking with the league owner earlier today, and they are plenty of truck teams that still need to be filled. So if you are interested in joining, come on. We'll take anybody.
Austin Playlock says, good to hear from you, Dustin Dean. Miss that dude for real.
See? Oh, me. But this is the time that I'm most excited about right here. As a race car fanatic and a lover of all things racing, we're going to come down and we're going to have, 6 laps to go on the green flag.
And look at this. At CCM, they will be controlling both lanes on this next restart. Joe Wright on the bottom, Brian Nudie on the top, and then CCM controls the... Whoa! We see like a huge checkup on the outside lane. Kyle, what happened?
I have no idea. He just stopped, it looked like.
Yeah,
and they were going crazy in the chat. I have no idea.
That was interesting there, but looks like everything is back to normal. Don't worry, the show must go on. We're going to still go back green here as we were scheduled to. Pace car making that hard left turn onto pit road. And we're going to have a 6-lap shootout here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, all CCM.
Yeah, I think it'll be really easy to control here, but I have a feeling some guys in that third lane are not going to want to keep it that way for long.
Yeah, I think main thing I see 2 Neon Racing drivers, they might go up there to the high side. We'll see. Green flag is back out here at Talladega. There's Joe Wright taking off. Will we see anybody be able to get up there ahead of these CCM drivers? We'll see how it all shakes out. We see Eddie Morris goes to the bottom lane, going behind Blake Kinsley. Brian Nudie is he's going to go to the third lane, and here comes Kyle Mayse, and I believe that's, Kyle Mayse, he's going to get hung out to dry, and looks like that's Devin Butchino, and I believe Devin Butchino and Brett Merle. They're on that third lane now.
And now, I thought Brett Merle was going to leave him out to dry there, but he came back up and helped Butchino, and that's going to leave both of them out to dry at this point.
So that bottom lane, very strong right now. Oh, look at that. Cody Moore going to the middle lane, up in front of Kyle Mayse. Here they come.
Trying to do anything to break up those top 3 right now.
Yeah, I don't know if Cody will be able to, though. Cody, Kyle, not really used to working with each other. They're on 2 separate teams, Wasted Wages and the Mayse Mafia. We've got 5 laps to go here at Talladega.
Expect that high line to have the run going down in turn 3.
Yeah, big run here on the backstretch. Here comes Cody Moore. There he is. Wow, he's got the nose over Joe Wright as we head into turns 3 and 4. If Kyle and Cody can keep having those great runs on the straightaways, Cody's going to be able to get to the lead very quickly.
And we did lose some drivers. We got Clint Stone back here, Devin Bacino, Brett Murrell's involved, Mark Shavers, no caution, but there was an incident back there.
So that is going to shave a couple drivers away from the field. Looks like Brian Nudie had some issues because he came into the pits after restarting in 2nd, I believe. So that's unfortunate for Nudie. I don't know what happened to him.
The only thing I can think of is maybe he didn't add fuel. That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know. I would talk to him, but he's probably not going to finish in the top 3, so I don't know. We'll never know.
That'll leave Joseph Wright right now leading this field. Trying to make it work on the outside is Cody, but he is not looking like he's making a lot of headway right now. Maybe off of turn 4 he will.
I forgot to mention tonight, there is prizes tonight. Prizes to be won. That's something very important that I forgot to mention. I do want to go over some of the prizes. Tonight's winner will receive $10, so it's not only points and bragging rights. You will win money if you win. So $10 is the prize. $5 will go to the highest finisher with a 0x. And then $5 will go to a random draw position. And I've actually already drawn that position. Nobody knows it, just so you can't really intentionally finish in that position. But I hope it's
20. I hope it's 22nd, Atlee.
I'll spoil it. It's not 22nd.
Okay.
So again, $10 to the winner. Let's see who will that winner be. 2 laps to go. Cody Moore, Kyle Mayse on the outside lane, and then we've got Colin Willems and Will Witt hooked up on that 3rd lane. 2 laps to go now. Here comes Cody Moore and Kyle Mayse on that outside lane. Big run for those two, trying anything to break up that CCM train on the bottom.
And Cody Moore doing a good job right now of not keeping that 3rd line back. Oh man, yeah, they are not going forward like I thought they would.
Oh, what a save for Cody Moore. He got very squirrely there on the backstretch. Maybe a bump draft gone wrong there from Kyle Mayse, but he's able to save it. And oh no! Blake Hensley is around Eddie Morris! No! Caution is out! Heartbreak! Oh no!
Wow, this will mean another green-white checker, but it looked like maybe netcode there. I don't know what happened. He turned sideways in a hurry.
Oh no. Yeah, that is not good. Not good there for Blake Hensley.
We are going to take a look at it right now. We're getting it ready for you as we watch Denny Hamlin just continue to hit that wall. Very nice sight. But we've got it ready just about now as we're just watching Blake Hensley try to see what happened here.
There we go. All right, so Blake Hensley, he's got Eddie Morris in front of him. He's got Joe Wright in front of him. And the first thing that I think of when I see this is Eddie Morris might have pushed the pusher, which for those of you who run super speedways, you know that's a big no-no.
Yeah, especially if you're that middle car, because you get that, you push the leader and then you get bumped from behind, and it does not.
Yeah, so we see Eddie Morris gave him a big bump there. And just, yeah, and I think he hits him again and just breaks him loose. I think he hit him right in the sweet spot, which is right at on the bumper, the right rear, or excuse me, yeah, or the left rear bumper. He
Yeah,
hit him right
if
there.
if possible, can we rewind that just a little bit? I'm curious as to why Blake was up that high. Maybe
He
was
got a
trying to
bump
block
and it got him
Cody.
upset. Look right here. Boom.
Yes, yeah, boom, right there, and then he goes up, tries to come back down. So he's turning left already, gets a bump from Eddie, and that'll send you around.
Man. So that caught up a lot of big name drivers there. We see a bunch of drivers into the pits getting damage fixed. Joe Wright remains your leader here at Talladega, but that instant broke up all the CCM train. Actually, no. On this next restart, Eddie Morris will be restarting behind Joe, so CCM will be hooked up with each other.
Yeah, you'll have Cody Moore starting on that outside line. You'll have Kyle Mayse pushing him. So we'll see what kind of pusher Kyle is. See if we can get Cody out front. I was really surprised. I did watch Cody's run. I mean, he might have got a little bit ahead, but he never was able to pull in front of Joseph. So that makes me hesitant of whether I want to be on the outside line or not here, coming to the 2 laps to go.
I will say, though, it doesn't matter if you're 1,000th ahead of the driver coming to the stripe. If you're side by side with them, you are still going to get the first place position. So as long as Cody can get a good enough run for where he can be 1,000th ahead of the bottom driver, I think he'll be good.
Yeah, good point.
You see Austin Blaylock on Facebook. He is count me in to see about joining the Truck Series. Miss racing with some of these guys. Good series. Well, we'll say this. Intensity DBC Sim Racing is always hiring. We have 2 open slots in the Truck Series. We'd love to have you. And he says, let's go Morris. Eddie will be restarting in the 3rd place position. Looks like that incident did not affect him too much. He was able to get through, but I think he probably acquired some damage in the process, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm worried about his front bumper as I look at it. There is some damage from where he got into the 88, but
Shouldn't affect
we'll
him
see how
too
much
much.
it affects him. Yeah.
I mean, you
maybe
got to
not.
remember this is super speedway racing, so a lot of times damage hurts you way more. Speaking of damage, we see Todd Mayse is getting rid of all the mosquitoes here at Talladega Super Speedway. Looks like his motor blew up, but luckily he's going to be able to limp it to his pit stall.
Yeah, I think he'll call it a night if he's already used his fast repair. Maybe he hasn't.
Colin Willems says, let's go Wasted Wages Racing. We see Cody Moore, Wasted Wages driver. He's going to be restarting on the outside here for this first green-white checkered. Derek Chaput, our other Wasted Wages driver, he sits in the 6th place position. Will Witt is in 7th. So right now, your top 10, 3 of the top 10 are all Wasted Wages racing drivers. So I guess that's 30%. So good to...
Unless they all crash on the last lap.
That is true. That is very true. So, for those of you who don't know what a green-white checkered is, it's exactly like it sounds. The green flag will come out. They'll make one circuit around the track. When they cross the start-finish line, it'll be the white flag, 1 lap to go. They'll make one more circuit around, and as they come to the start-finish line, it'll be the checkered flag. Now, if a wreck happens and a caution comes out before they take the white flag, we will re-rack and restack them and do all again. But if a wreck happens and they've already taken the white flag, no caution will come out and they will race to the line.
And that's what I love. And I commend NASCAR for their safety, but I know I like to see if that white flag comes out, let them race. And that's one thing I do love about iRacing is we don't stop for a caution at the end of the race. We get to decide who the actual winner is under the green flag condition. And so that's awesome as we're coming up here. Looks like those lights are out.
Austin Blowlock says Morris got it tonight. Eddie Morris trying to get his 5th Super Speedway win in a row here at Talladega Super Speedway. He's restarting behind teammate Joe Wright. He's got to find some sort of way to get ahead of Joe Wright, or is Eddie maybe willing to end his Super Speedway win streak to help push his teammate to the win? That would be a true teammate if he would be willing to do that.
Well, being that this is the first race of the playoffs, I don't know. I think Eddie might want to get that win for himself.
Yeah, Eddie Morris is one of our playoff drivers. So is Joe Wright. So both of them. But, you know, if a 1-2 finish for both of them, that's first and second place points, and that'll really help them stay ahead of the cutoff line. So I don't know. We'll see how this all shakes out. Green flag is back out here at Talladega. There is Joe Wright taking off. Side by, we see Cody Moore, Kyle Mayse hooked up on that outside lane. Oh, no, we're wrecking Will Witt. Devin Butchino. But it looks like no caution will come out. The show will continue to go on here at Talladega Super Speedway, but that'll shave away some drivers.
Yeah, Cody is right there. He is officially just took the lead. Just, whoa, we have some movement in the back, but Cody just nudging ahead as they go into turn 3. Still 2 laps to go.
We see Brett Merle cheeseburger gambling and going up to that third lane. That might not be a bad idea. Eddie Morris will hop to the third lane, but Cody Moore and Kyle Mayse will hang him out to dry. Oh no, Kyle Mayse, Brett Merlin to the outside wall, and look who it is, Blake Hensley coming on the outside. In a crazy move, he gets ahead of Cody Moore, and he is now the leader of that outside. Final lap here at Talladega. Joe Wright remains the leader on the bottom. Can he hang on to it? He's getting a push from his brother Dave. Outside, it's Blake Hensley and Cody Moore.
Outside right now.
Can the outside get it done? Oh no! Joe Wright! Oh no! Joe Wright! Dave Wright's involved. Cody Moore to the lead. Derek Chaput coming. What in the world? Side by side here in turns 3 and 4. Cody Moore with the nose. He is leading on the bottom. Oh no! Eddie Morris. They're wrecking here. And Cody Moore, he's got the nose as we head on to the front stretch. Derek Chaput.
Do it. Wow.
Cody Moore will win the race here at Talladega. Clint Stone will squeak out a second place finish. Derek Chaput third. What did I just
Clint come from?
Where did I just win it? What? Wow.
Wow.
I want to take a look.
Eddie Morris came back all the way to finish 6th. Wow.
I want to look at a replay here really quickly of that finish. I don't normally do this, but look, so we've got Blake Hensley on the outside, and it looks like Cody Moore.
He was trying to take it 3 wide.
Just gets into hits him a little bit too hard, or I think he hit him at a bad angle. And luckily, Blake Hensley and Joe Wright are all below Cody, so he can keep on going. Yeah, I think we saw the same thing that kind of happened there, where Cody just kind of bumped Blake Hensley in kind of a bad spot, right at kind of the left side of his back bumper. And so then it was side by side between Cody Moore and Derek Chaput, and then here comes Clint Stone out of nowhere. We see he comes up and makes some contact with Brian Merle Jr. That gets him squirrely. And then we see these three go on to race it out here. And we see right at the end a big run for Clint Stone on the bottom. He has the nose over Derek Chaput. I just needed to look at the full sequence of what happened there. That was just wow. I
was just gonna say, man, that is the reason we love super speedway racing, right there.
We see Cody Moore burning it down here, or no, he's not. That's his teammate. The first place driver isn't even burning it down. We see Cody Moore just sitting on the start-finish line. Man, everybody celebrates differently. And then
he's just taking it in.
He's just taking it in. It's probably overflowed with emotions. So we're going to get set now with the driver interviews. We're going to wait for everybody to mosey on down to the waiting room. Austin Blaylock says, what in the world just happened? I'm thinking the same thing. It was all happening so fast that all I could do was just laugh and just try my best to digest all that was going on. Goodness gracious. So I think the first driver we're going to be coming in here is your third place finisher. He is from Petawawa, Ontario, Canada, Derek Chaput. Derek, this is Atlee and Dustin in the broadcast room. We got a copy.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Awesome. Well, what a wild finish there. I know we started to say your name a little bit when we saw Wasted Wages controlling both lanes. We saw green flag pit stops. We saw the huge Russia drivers going into the pits, and then we didn't say your name too much until that last lap there when we saw you had a huge run on the outside. We're able to avoid all the hullabaloo that was going on, and you were side by side there with Cody to the finish, and Clint Stone was able to just squeak it out for the second place finish. So, I mean, crazy finish there at the end for you. I mean, what was your take on those final few laps there?
Yeah, no, it was good for sure. We were worried about our pit stop. We thought maybe we shouldn't have called it out. Everybody came down with us. We thought that was going to kind of ruin our race, but the caution came out, brought the field back together, and yeah, it worked out well. Like you say, that final lap, I was lucky to squeeze by all that big wreck on the inside and made a good run to the finish.
Derek, this is Dustin up in the booth as well. I wanted to ask, what were you thinking there on that final turn, coming out of turn 4, and you saw Clint going with Cody there? Did your heart kind of sink, or what was going through your mind? Did you still think you had a chance?
Well, right before that, I was thinking about ducking in behind Cody and just taking the second, but I seen the run that Clint had, and I didn't think I had a chance to tuck in there, so I was just going to stick as close as I could to Cody, hopefully not let him send it 3 wide, and yeah, I had to throw a bit of a block on Brett at the end there and kept my 3rd spot.
Now, before I let you go, Derek, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
I just want to thank you guys up in the booth and thank the guys for running the league, and big shout out to Wasted Wages and all the guys there.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the podium tonight, Derek. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, you too.
Yep, thank you. All right, let's now pull in your second place finisher from Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's your pole sitter, it's your second place starter, Clint Stone, and your second place finisher. Clint, this is Atlee and Dustin in the broadcast room. You have a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Well, what a roller coaster race for you tonight. I know at times I saw you were in like the last place finish for drivers on like the track at the moment. I mean, but what a comeback there late in the race. I know you restarted kind of in the back portion on that last restart, but you were able to avoid the wrecks and get right up behind Cody there at the finish, and you're able to squeak it out right past Derek Chaput. I mean, that was a wild final green-white checkered there for you. I mean, what was your take and what was going through your mind there those last few laps?
I just had to keep my foot in it because I had so much damage that, you know, I had to have somebody behind me on that last part. I think Mural Jr. was behind me, and yeah, I mean, cars were going every which way, and I couldn't. If I'd have lifted, I would have just lost everything. And then he stayed behind me and was able to get up to Cody. They were side by side, so I picked one of them. I just picked him because he was on the low side, and I felt like that was my best. I knew I wasn't going by him, so I felt like that was my best bet to at least get second if I could. But
Well,
yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask. Is you come out of turn 4, you're behind both of them. Any thoughts at all of taking it 3 wide and just seeing what could happen? Seeing if Brett Mural went with you?
I don't think I could have. I think once I got in clean air, it would have just stalled. I think he would have probably pushed me sideways, but.
Well, man, I will say congratulations on the comeback of a lifetime from a blown engine in front of the field back to second place. Well,
Yeah,
well
so I
done,
told
sir.
Kyle, I was like, he's back in points. I was like, well, maybe we can get you the stage. And I was like, if I got to blow up, you know, maybe it just happens. And I didn't think it was gonna blow up. I really didn't, but yeah, it definitely did, and put me 2 laps down. And I didn't really sweat it when I think somebody was off. Maybe it was you were off track, or maybe you weren't in the race. I don't know. But yeah, once I seen I was the first car to get, the lucky dog, and I was like, surely there'll be 2 wrecks. And yeah, it took a long time to get it, but it happened.
Now, before I let you go, Clint, is there any sponsors or shout-outs you'd like to thank?
Yeah, appreciate, y'all putting the broadcast on. And then all the Mayse crew, and Mark.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the runner-up tonight, Clint. Have a great rest of your night.
All right. Yep, you too. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you. All right, and now let's pull in your winner from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 52, Cody Moore. Cody, this is Atlee and Dustin in the broadcasting room. We got a copy.
I got you guys.
Awesome. Well, what a win for you tonight in your triumphant return. I mean, absolutely incredible race. I know we saw you were up front for a lot of tonight's event, especially there in that little portion before the pit stops where Wasted Wages was controlling both lanes, and we saw you were able to come in, and that last stint we saw you're on the outside drafting up there with Kyle Mayse, and then we saw, of course, you gave a little bit of a push into Blake Hensley, and that kind of sent him down the track, and the whole field kind of got involved in that. You're able to get a good run on the outside, and even though Derek was fast on the on the top, you're able to hang on to it and get your second win of the season. So, I mean, congrats on the win. What was your take?
Yeah, I think it was just one of those crapshoot kind of races that you're kind of just lucky to be there at the end. I think it's CCM. They had a really good pit strategy. They pitted early. They got strung out, and they had a lead there. We were catching them a little bit. I don't know if we would have caught them. But yeah, the caution came out, and luckily we were able to get the win there.
Well, Cody, it's been just over a year and a half since I've been racing with iRacing, been racing with you guys. You beat me then. You beat me tonight. Congratulations, sir.
That is correct. No, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was good racing with you again, and I saw you a couple times there, and I steered well clear of you, but yeah, I'm glad we were able to get the finish there.
Well, my first race back, I was upside down, if that tells you anything.
I was about par for the course on that race.
That's right.
Now, before I let you go, Cody, is there any sponsors or shout-outs you'd like to thank for your win?
Yeah, I got to thank, first off, my beautiful wife, Maggie, my kids for letting me do this, Papa Moore watching at home, my emotional support distance wife, Colin Willem's beautiful wife. I want to thank all my teammates at Wasted Wages. This is really, kind of their win too. They helped me out a lot, and I really appreciate that. It's good to get locked into the next round, so I don't have to worry about next week, and we can just go out and try to get another win. Yeah, it's about it. And Atlee, you killed it as always. Dustin, you were subpar, but and then I got to give a real quick Dustin Dean sucks. But yeah, Atlee, you killed it, and appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the win tonight, Cody, and hopefully we might see a couple more to finish off the season. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep, no problem.
Well, it's good to see things haven't changed with old Cody Moore. Still winning and still throwing shade at other drivers.
Absolutely. I mean, he's definitely one of the best drivers here in the field. So we do have a shout out cut. We see Austin Blaylock on Facebook says, looks like I lost my 99 number to someone who is in Chattanooga. I did not realize that. So Clint Stone is number 99. Austin Blaylock was number 99, and they are both from Chattanooga. So
Wow.
That is an interesting coincidence there. We see, and then he says, that is correct. Referencing Dustin Dean's catchphrase, I guess you could say. Give the crowd what they want.
That is correct.
There you go. Awesome. Well, this was an awesome race. It's man, that's exactly what we come to expect here with these super speedways, especially in this series. Just really, really great racing until the final until the final straightaway. I mean, any final thoughts, Dustin?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the league for having me back. Thank you, Atlee and Intensity Broadcasting, for allowing me to come on and help you call this race after I ended my night. But yeah, overall glad to be back and thankful for you guys.
Now, I want to thank all of the league admins for all of their help. Brian Nudie, Eddie Morris, Michael Provolt, Sylvain Seagoin, Devin Butchino, and Stephen Black. Without all of them, this league would not run as smoothly as it does. Thank you to league sponsor, Mayse Construction Company, for all of their support of the league. Make sure to check out their Facebook, Mayse Construction Co., and go and check them out. And of course, I want to give a huge thank you to Butt Kicker, as always, for partnering with Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to visit thebuttkicker.com and check out the website for the established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. And I just want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in to watch tonight. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as it would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,500 followers on Facebook, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 1,000 followers on Twitch. Make sure to check out our Twitter, IntensityBroad1. We're always dropping polls and interacting with our viewers on there. And make sure to check out our web store, IntensityBroadcasting.com. We're always there. You have our merchandise from your favorite broadcasters, your favorite drivers, and your favorite leagues. We've got Intensity Broadcasting merchandise, Atlee Racing merchandise, a bunch of awesome auto racing novelty t-shirts you can pick up. We have Carson Hayslip Racing merchandise, and we have our SCSRA collection, where we have SCSRA bubble-free stickers, SCSRA photo paper posters, and an SCSRA t-shirt. I'm Atlee Atman-Luis, and on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Over and out.